All right, it's 1 o'clock. People will continue to join in, but we're going to get started. First of all, thank you all for coming, all of my panel representatives, as well as everybody who's in attendance today. My name is Anne-Marie Batkoski. I'm with the Saginaw ISD. I'm the coordinator of business partnerships. I've been here for a little bit over a year, and we've been doing these apprenticeship roadshow events for the last, well, since fall last year, 2019, October-ish, and started off slow, but have grown tremendously. And so now that we're at the stay-at-home order, we thought, what better opportunity now than to reach all these people virtually? And so we're going to try this virtual panel today. Just some housekeeping items real quick. I have everybody muted, I believe. I will be going through and kind of double checking to mute people besides the panel speakers, just so we don't have that distraction and noise. If you have any questions during this chat, feel free to use the chat feature on here. If you go under your panel thing at the bottom, there's a little more button with 3 dots. There's a chat, and you can ask questions in there if you would like questions answered. If we have time, we'll be able to answer those questions for you. If not, what my intention is to gather those questions, get you a response, and then we'll post them on the Saginaw ISD website. We have a CTE page where we'll post those. Let's see what else. Yeah, so today we have my friends from different trades who are representing the electricians, the iron workers, and the operating engineers. We also have Delta College and the Department of Labor here today. If this works out, might do it again, and we'll have another one. This one's gonna be recorded today, so once we have this recording, the 2 will be posted and shared so that everybody can review it or share it amongst their friends. As you may know or may not know, but apprenticeships are great training opportunities in which you can earn while you learn. Zero debt gives you a great skill. Another alternative to college, although it does include options to continue your education through college. So it's a little bit of the best of both worlds. So we'll get started. It's my pleasure to introduce you to my good friend for over 20 years, Russ Davis. Russ Davis is the Michigan State Director of the U.S. Department of Labor Office of Apprenticeships. Russ and I have met way back when at Delta College when he was in the skilled trades department, and he has been a huge promoter, obviously, with his job at, with apprenticeships, and he is going to be our moderator today. So Russ, take it away.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Good afternoon, everyone. What a pleasure it is to do this. I want to tell you, as Anne-Marie stated, we started doing these last fall, and it was the brainchild from Anne-Marie that brought all of the training directors together and myself, where we could meet groups of potential students, families, to learn more about what it is you need to get into the different trades, but also the requirements and what it is in the craft. But today we're going to talk, in the panelists are going to talk about registered apprenticeship. We've been around for 80-some years. Today in Michigan, we have close to 1,100 sponsors. We've got 26 new programs already with 19,914 registered apprenticeships, 2,500 new, and we've got over 1,000 completers in our registered apprenticeship program. A lot of times we get people on to say, what is a registered apprenticeship? I'm going to talk in between the panels a little bit, but the first thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to turn it over to John, is there's 5 components we're going to be talking about today. One is the business involvement. You need employers on every foundation for every apprenticeship program. You need a structure of on-the-job learning, training. Apprentices receive that job training from an experienced mentor or journey worker for typically not less than a year and up to 4 or 5 years. The third component is related instruction, as Anne-Marie pointed out. That can be done at a community college, can be at a training with construction where they have their training. It could be online. And the fourth one, the component of the registered apprenticeship reward is gains, the meaning that every 6 months or a year, as you go through your apprenticeship, you're going to receive an increase in wages for a higher level of skills. And that's why it's earn while you learn. And probably the most important component of all is a national occupational credential, meaning that this, when you graduate, when you complete your certification, this certification is known across the United States, which means that everyone would understand you've done at least 144 clock hours schooling for every year of your apprenticeship. So that's just in a nutshell about the components, and I want to turn it over now to my good friend John Hartwell from local 324 Operating Engineers. John has been involved in these on the road shows that we've been doing, and John, take it away.
Thanks for us. Thanks for having us today, and thank you, Anne Marie, for throwing this together. It's definitely a new era, and this is all new to us, so I'm glad we could throw it together. I'm with Operating Engineers, and I am John Hartwell. I am the Career and Outreach Coordinator with the local. I'm actually a product of the apprenticeship program, so I can honestly tell you, coming through these Department of Labor registered apprenticeship programs is life-changing, not only for me, for my family, for the health care that we get, for the benefits that we bring in, and the pay, right? The skill, the knowledge set that we get. We are a statewide organization. We operate the heavy equipment that you see on the road projects, hospitals, powerhouses, wind turbines, you name it, cranes, bulldozers, excavators, everything to do with operating equipment. In addition to that, we actually have heavy equipment technicians, which somebody has to fix the equipment that's breaking down. So I'm here today bringing you two different apprenticeship programs, one for the heavy equipment operator and one for the heavy equipment technician. We are going to do an application process. So we're going to do online applications beginning on June 8th, running through the 12th. And it's online. You can get all the information you need at oe324.org. All the information's there. It is under the applications tab. So under the applications tab, it has all of our requirements listed. What a student would need, and we do expect the seniors coming through, finishing up their school to be able to apply. They need to have a high school diploma or proof of graduation, right? They need to have a valid Michigan driver's license. They need to be at least 17 years old to apply to the program. And they have to have work keys testing completed, which the work keys testing at this time, we're hoping that it comes back online and some facilities open back up. But on our website, on the oe324.org, we have a hot link. So you click on the work keys testing, it shows you what scores we need, but it'll also show you the closest facility that you can take the work keys. A lot of the seniors coming out of high school do have the work keys testing already completed. We need a scale score back, not just a number score. So it explains all that on the site. On the day that we do applications, so they open up on Monday, midnight on Sunday, 12:01, you can get an application online. I would get on early in the morning. Some areas are in a limited number around the state, being a statewide organization. We do the applications that way. You get an application. Once you open that application, it stays open for 10 days so that you can upload the rest of your information with it. And then we can start you in the process. Everybody that completes the application with the necessary requirements will be moved on to the next step, which is an evaluation. And when we do an evaluation, I'm not looking for heavy equipment operator skill. I'm not looking for heavy equipment technician skill. I'm looking for work ethic. Do you want to be there every day, show up for work? Is this where you want to be, right? That's what our contractors are looking for also. Can you follow the safety procedures that we outline? Because everything in our industry and construction is about safety. Do you have leadership skills? And why would you need those leadership skills? You need the leadership skills because, for example, if I'm on a job site setting up a crane, I need to be able to communicate with the iron workers, with the electricians, how I'm going to set the crane up and why I need certain things on the job site, right? So a lot of communication, leadership skills involved there. And do you want to be there to have that job? It's not for everybody, but it's a great opportunity. Like I said, we have facilities. I'm actually at our newest, our addition in Howell. We have 555 acres here in Howell, over 100 pieces of equipment that we train on. We have our newest facility actually is Gladstone in the UP, which we've been making some improvements on that, making it a little easier for our candidates in the UP to train and our journeymen. And we have a facility in Detroit. So we're all over the state, bringing you that piece. If you come through the apprenticeship, where would you start out on a job site? You'd start out at 70% of a journeyman's pay. So 70%, we have 20 different contracts we work under, but it was roughly right around $20 an hour on the check. So $20 an hour on the check with what do you get from these registered programs and the unions? You get benefits. So we have $23 an hour on top of your $20 an hour in benefits, which is Blue Cross Blue Shield, Delta Dental, a defined contribution pension, a DC pension, and vacation pay. So all the added that goes onto it. So for that kind of money, you could see why the contractors want that work ethic piece. Very important in what we do. My experience, I can't imagine myself going into a better area. It's earn while you learn. All of our training is free. You qualify for the program, and through collective bargaining, the union takes care of all your training costs. I'm going to have $60,000 to $80,000 invested in each apprentice that comes through the program, and you owe zero when you're done. You owe, it's unbelievable. It's like getting a full ride scholarship to college. So the opportunity's there, the opportunity's real. Ladies in the trades, we're running right around 15% female in our trade right now, hoping to expand that. And what do we see happening with work? We anticipate coming through this COVID piece and having the job opportunities there because Michigan still has the infrastructure work that needs to be done. We want to make sure that we have skilled tradesmen in Michigan to do the work. So that's where we're at, and I'm going to turn it back to Russ. Thank you.
Thanks, John. We've got nearly 1,200 occupations that we have registered apprentices for everyone. Today, our panelists are basically talking about construction, but our programs are in healthcare, in energy, advanced manufacturing, construction, and IT. And also, the delivery part of the programs, it can be either time-based, apprentices complete required hours on the job to train and related instruction. Can be competency-based programs. Apprentices progress at their own pace. They demonstrate competency and skills, knowledge through proficiency tests, but are not required to complete a specific number of hours. We have a lot of our time-based programs that have been turned into competency programs. In the hybrid programs are basically a combination of time-based and competency together as a hybrid approach. So I just wanted to share that with you. And with that, I'd like to turn it over now to Matt Raja, Local 25 Ironworkers out of Wixom, Michigan. He's the training coordinator. Matt?
All right, thanks, Russ. And thanks for inviting me, Anne-Marie. Like Russ said, my name is Matt Rajda. I'm the training coordinator for Ironworkers Local 25. So give you guys a little bit of the background of our local. We've been around since 1901. We belong to the International Association of Ironworkers, been around since 1896. Our jurisdiction covers the lower peninsula of Michigan. So we've got a fairly big jurisdiction. Our membership is about 2,200 members, active members out there. And what we are is a 4-year registered apprenticeship. So getting into talking about ironwork, we've got many different facets, but what we've done is we now run only one program, and it's called the Journeyman Ironworker Program. So it incorporates all the different facets. So bridge, structural, reinforcing, architectural and ornamental, rigging and machinery moving, conveyor, precast, everything wrapped into one 4-year apprenticeship. So how that works is you do about 204 hours a year for a total of 816 RTI hours, related technical instruction. And then you do 2,000 hours on the job training for a total of 8,000 hours by the end of the 4-year apprenticeship. So our pay is similar to the operators depending on what facet of the trade you're working in. Some of our facets start for a beginning apprentice, first 6 months apprentice, $18.58 an hour on the check, with the total package being $43. Some of them start at $20.58, some of them a little higher, all depending on what region you're working in and what facet of the trade you're working in. So reeling back a little bit for applications, normally we take applications 48 weeks out of the year, only shut down on the holiday weeks, right? So like Christmas week, New Year's week, Thanksgiving week, you know, we normally don't accept applications. Due to the restrictions going on right now, we've suspended all applications until May 15th. And then we'll decide at that time on the governor's restrictions whether or not we'll open it back up. But we start everybody with our application process at ironworkers25.org. When I get done talking, I'll put it on the group chat, the website there. But so ironworkers25.org, there's a link right there. It says apprenticeship. You click on that link, then it'll say apprenticeship information. And right there would be where you could find our application. You click on the button, you could read it, print it out. First 2 pages are the instructions. So everything you need to know about the application process, what documents you need to get together, what's the minimum qualifications. Most of our trades generally are all the same. You know, you got to be 18 years of age or older. I know some trades you could be 17 at time of application. With us, you have to be 18. So all our minimum qualifications are there. We do require ACT work keys testing. We do the testing right here at our location in our computer lab. So when we do set an appointment up, when you call and you set up your appointment, we take the appointments Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday normally, and at 8:30 in the morning or 12:45 in the afternoon. So we tell everybody expect to be here for about 3 hours. The 3 tests that we take are graphic literacy, applied math, and the talent assessment. So if anybody's ever taken the work keys within the past 2 years and they have a scale report, we do honor those work keys tests and they won't have to retest here at our facility. So getting into how many apprentices we normally put on a year, usually anywhere from 150, possibly even up to 200, just because the demand is there so much now. So I'm putting on 6 classes this year. Each class will have 23 apprentices in it. 2 of the classes were selected already. So I have 4 classes left to select. And the way the selection process works is those 3 work key scores after you test will be averaged out. And that average score of them 3 tests will be your placement on our applicant list. And you would be, after a completed drug test upon application and that comes back and it's good, then you'd be a current active applicant for up to 2 years. So moving on a little bit, with our 4-year apprenticeship, we do lots of different courses and training since we cover many different facets. Our main certification we give is actually certifications in welding. So we do require minimum 1 certification in welding by the time the 4 years is completed, or you complete the apprenticeship. But we do have 2 training centers, and we have 3 accredited testing facilities with the American Welding Society. So myself and the instructors are certified welding inspectors. So that gives us the ability to qualify welders right from our facilities. So that's a good benefit that we have nowadays. And if you go back to my 4-year apprenticeship, we would only certify with the state of Michigan. So our welding program now, working with the American Welding Society, our welding certifications are recognized nationally. So as a journeyman ironworker can go ahead and travel through all 50 states and seek work for a good wage at any local union. Now their welding certifications also travel with them.
Hey, Matt, what were the 3 work keys tests again?
The 3 work keys tests were graphic literacy, talent assessment, and applied math.
Thank you. And then also, I know that you guys do like an initial drug test. Are there random drug tests as well, or is it a one and done?
So at application time, there's an initial application drug test. And then once you start your apprenticeship, you have to maintain an annual drug test throughout the program. And then we work through a lot of the contractors and the jobs work through the MUST system, right? I think it's management and union serving together. So every now and then they will random X amount of people that are in that system. So.
Okay. Thank you.
And a lot like the operators, tuition, we do charge a tuition. It's $90 every 6 months. We are not completely free at this time. I know some of the trades are, but $180 a year is a pretty good deal. So maybe one day will be completely no cost at all, but I'd say that the large portion of a $67,000 apprenticeship is what it currently costs to put an apprentice through, is picked up by our members because we're 100% privately funded. So our members contribute hourly to basically invest in our future, right? And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Thanks, Matt. You heard me say that we've got 19,900 registered apprentices, and these apprentices, like John and Matt both said, the cost of the tuition and everything is picked up by the sponsors. I would say that out of those 19,000 plus apprentices we have in Michigan, 99% plus are debt free when they receive their certificate. Each one of the occupations we have require 144 clock hours of schooling for every 1 year of apprenticeship. In the different models that we have a direct entry pre-apprenticeship model where you would take some classes prior to getting into a registered apprenticeship, and with that certificate you could have a direct entry to one of the trades. We have traditional where you go to work, and then at night you may attend Delta College 1 or 2 nights and to get your 144 hours in. We also have front loaded. A lot of our programs in the IT and healthcare require your schooling up front prior to getting into the registered apprenticeship. And we also have programs that are segmented. You may go 7 weeks on the job and 7 weeks at school, kind of like the old Kettering or the GMI model. And so we have different delivery methods for our on-the-job training, but you will do in a registered apprenticeship, you are required to do some 144 clock hours at least per year of schooling. With that, I'd like to introduce you to local 557 Electrical, Evan Alderdice, who I believe is a training coordinator. Evan?
Thanks, Russ. Good to hear from you again. Thank you, Ann, for putting this together as well. I am Evan Allardyce, and I am actually the business manager here for IBW Local 557. Our training director's name is Rick Mason, and I work closely with him. He does a fantastic job of managing our apprentices. I am a bit of a homegrown product here in the Saginaw area. I'm proud to say that I lived here my whole entire life, with the exception of the 2 years that I lived in East Lansing while I attended Michigan State University, which is kind of going above and beyond a little bit what we're talking about here. But I did go to a program there towards the electrical technology side of things, which I do believe helped me out in my career immensely. As I mentioned, I've lived here in Saginaw my whole entire life. I attended the Saginaw Career Complex that we still have here today up and running. I credit that to giving me my beginnings in the electrical industry. Carl Peel was my teacher there. Sadly, he did pass away just recently here. And it was a very cool moment in my career as an electrician to be able to present him with a 50-year IBEW membership pin shortly before he passed away. So things kind of came full circle for me there. But his class gave me the kickstart that I needed to be able to go on and have a great career here in the skilled trades. Local 557 here in Saginaw is a little bit different than some of the other programs that you've just heard from, as they're more all-encompassing of the state, or they cover broader, larger areas. Our jurisdiction that we handle here is Saginaw County, Tuscola County, and Gratiot County. So at any point in time, a registered apprentice in our program could be working on a project in any one of those areas. I found that the benefits of the Union Apprenticeship Program, early on were just fantastic for me. And it was kind of a well-kept secret when I came up through high school. I wished our counselors at the time when I was in school would have done a better job of informing us of these opportunities. But that's been a big part of what I've set out to do here as business manager, is get those opportunities out to more and more people so that they do know that they have alternatives to college, and you can make a great living and do the whole earn while you learn thing. And that is one of our big points. You're paid to learn instead of paying to learn. A graduate of our program will graduate with $0 in debt. The only thing that anybody in our program needs to pay for while they're part of it is their books each year, which typically range in the $300 to $400 per year range. And we have currently instituted a rental system for the books, which even drives that cost down further. So at the end of the year, you would just turn those books in and get a refund on them per se. We're a completely self-funded program here. Together, the IBEW and our partnering contractors in the recent past have spent over $83 million of our own money, no tax money, on those programs. As I said, completely self-funded through our membership and through our partnering contractors in this program. It costs us roughly about $4,500 per year per student to train these students. So we have a vested interest in them. We want to see them all succeed, and we don't want to see them fail. We will do everything that we can to help each and every individual that is put into our program succeed and complete the program. As I stated a little bit just a second ago, it's been a big goal of mine to see our program increase just in the last 3 or 4 years here since I've taken over. We used to have like somewhere around the neighborhood of 40 applicants per year. Now we've more than doubled that. We're seeing 80 to 100 each year and interviewing about 50 people each year for our program. Our typical class that we will take each year is somewhere in the 5 to 6 person per year range. So it's a very competitive program to get into. We have a 200 person member local, so we are a little bit on the smaller side, as I touched on earlier. The application process for our program, if you were to come in, well, you can't come in here today due to the stay-at-home orders. Typically, we do accept those applications in person here in our office at the Union Hall or at our training facility that is located in Flint. But if you were to come in and apply, you would need to bring us 4 things. That would be a copy of a driver's license, a birth certificate, a high school diploma, and then an official copy of a high school or college transcript that shows that you had a passing grade in an algebra course somewhere along the line. And by a passing grade, I mean a C or better. Our program is very heavy on math. That's why we ask for that. And then it's a $25 application fee once you have all those 4 credentials with you. And that will give you the ability to take an aptitude test. The other previous gentleman spoke on work keys tests. We have our own aptitude tests that we do administer. Those are suspended for the time being, as we can't get more than a few people in a room right now. When those do come back online, we will begin doing those again. But those aptitude tests are very similar to a work keys test. So you want to study up on some of the same things. It's heavy on math, as I said before. We place the apprentices on the job with contractors. For the vast majority of your apprenticeship, you'll be working for the entire length of it. It is a 5-year program. And then after the completion of that, the sky's the limit for you. Our starting wage for a first year, starting out right away apprentice, is $13.50 plus your full complement of benefits. I believe John spoke earlier about total package benefits. It costs the employer just north of $25 per hour each hour for those apprentices to be working. So you're getting quite a bit of benefits added onto that hourly wage. You do get a quick bump up in pay to almost $17 per hour right after 6 months. And then it goes yearly after that on your way up to full journeyman wage of $33.75 per hour is what our current collectively bargained scale is. We do require the students to go to school once every 2 weeks is how our program is set up. So in a typical month that has 4 weeks in it, you'll go to class about 2 days per month. Those are full 8-hour class days. We have implemented some online courses right now with the COVID breakout going on so that we can keep our students learning and keep their minds active in a time where they may not be. I thank my training director, Rick, for implementing that program. It's worked out fantastically for us so far so that we can continue to learn while we're on this little downtime here. I like to think that we don't have like a true classroom. Our true classroom is an actual job site, in my opinion, but yes, we do have an actual classroom where you go to learn and kind of just get a reinforcement of everything that's taught to you out on the job site as well. As I said, that's a 5-year program, so you'd go to class once every 2 weeks for 5 years. The classes are at our training facility down in Flint, which is located pretty near the airport. Takes me about 40 minutes to drive there from the Union Hall. We do deal with a number of different things in our apprenticeship program, from DC theory to AC theory to motor controls. We do have an instrumentation piece in our apprenticeship program. There is a whole entire book that deals with that. It serves as more of an introduction to instrumentation. I know Detroit's local has quite an elaborate program when it comes to instrumentation, and we have sent some people there for further education on that matter, if anybody looks for more instruction on that. There are calls that do come out of the IBEW that are just straight dedicated towards instrumentation versus just like a regular electrician's call. We are affiliated with the Michigan Building and Construction Trades Council, and we deal with all the other building trades quite a bit. We all like to think of our apprenticeship programs as being the top of the line. As we said before, earn while you learn, $0 debt when you're done. I can't say enough good things about our program and what it's done for me over the years. Upon completion of that apprenticeship program, like I said, the sky is the limit for you. You can go anywhere to work with that yellow IBEW ticket in your pocket when you become a journeyman. I have people that go as far out to California, work on nuclear facilities, some nuclear facilities in South Bend. Sometimes people make so much money when they're out in the California area that they just kind of work for 6 months, take the rest of the year off. So there's a lot of different things that you can do out there. Me personally, I've been all over. I've been to Pittsburgh. I've been to New York City for hurricane relief work before. So I attribute that to my well-rounded education in the IBEW to become one of the elite electrical workers around. And in a second here, I'll go ahead and type into the chat area our website, which is www.ibw557.org. You can find more information on how to apply under our apprenticeship info tab that is located in the left-hand corner of that website. And that's all that I have for you for now. And again, thank you, Ann, and thank you, Russ, for putting this whole thing together. And it was great to see everybody and speak about programs.
Evan, are there any like age maximums, or do you guys hire veterans?
Yes, we do participate in the Helmets to Hard Hat program. You know, we're just looking for people that are mechanically inclined, that have a great work ethic, that have the soft skills that you need to have to make it. these days. And soft skills, I mean showing up on time every day. And by on time, I mean about 10 minutes early, not just showing up right at 6:59 to go to work. You know, and having a willingness to learn and the tools to learn, and not just like the hand tools to learn, but the tools, but the knowledge and the want to be able to learn how to do this magnificent trade.
Thanks.
Thanks, Evan. Also, Evan, thanks for sharing about our good friend Carl Peel. Back when I was at Delta College, Carl worked for me, and Carl was a scholar and a great mentor for many, many people around the Saginaw Valley here. He was thoroughly knew his craft. There's benefits for the race apprenticeship, but a lot of times our businesses ask, what's in it for us? And what happens is that the benefits for the business are going to have a highly skilled employee. We reduce turnover costs when we have a race apprenticeship program. It's highly productivity, and we get more of a diverse workforce, which we're driving for. For the workers, for the apprentice, it increases their skills, higher wages. If you've heard from everybody, it's a national credential, and it's a career advancement. The next gentleman you're going to hear from, we're going to talk about Delta College and how that education can tie to a associate degree, a certificate, and on and more. The apprenticeship program itself is been around for a long time. We've probably got 600 and some thousand registered apprentices across the United States. As an apprentice becomes a journey worker, they take pride in the hard work they put in. They understand the importance of passing the knowledge and skills they developed on the next generation of apprentices that come behind them. That's what a registered apprenticeship is all about. And that's why the 28 community colleges we have in Michigan are tied with the registered apprenticeship. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to Harvey Schneider, who he's the skilled trades manager at Delta College. Harvey?
Thank you, Russ. Yeah, one of the things I'd like to stress is Delta College works with area employers to provide their related technical instruction. Where the three gentlemen that just spoke, the union provides that related technical instruction for an apprenticeship, and they train their own apprentices. Delta offers the RTI for area employers, companies that do not have their own training departments. I work with companies like Next Year Automotive, General Motors, Tower Automotive, Millennium Steering, Hemlock Semiconductor, small companies like L&M Machining, Mark 7 Machining, just little small mom and pop tool and die shops that may only have one apprentice, so they can't afford to have a whole training department. But they send them to Delta, and our classes have all been approved by the Department of Labor in the state of Michigan as apprentice training programs. One of the things that I think is outstanding about Delta College is that even if you don't do your apprentice training through Delta, and let's say you go see any three of these iron workers, the operating engineers, the IBEW, you go through their training program and complete it. And once you've earned your journey person status, you can come see me at Delta College, and I can turn your training, your apprenticeship, into college credits. And depending on the trade, that could be anywhere from 10 credits to up to 35 credits. Now, credit at Delta College, if you're in district, is probably around $150. If you're an out-of-district student, it'll be closer to $250 a credit. So if you can take your apprenticeship training, come to Delta, turn that into college credits, and then you have the ability to earn your associate degree with that. So don't let anybody ever say, well, if you take an apprenticeship, you're not going to college. As you heard John say, the money you can earn during your apprenticeship over 4 years you know, what, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 a year during your time as an apprentice. And then at the end of those 4 years, you come to Delta and you say, okay, now I've done my apprenticeship. Now I want to get an associate degree. I'll turn that card into college credit for you towards an associate degree. So it's really a win-win for you. You also heard these guys mention that they have a testing and interview process. Well, if you're thinking maybe you want to become an iron worker, or maybe you want to become an IVW electrical worker, but you're not sure, you can always come see me first and start taking some electrical classes at Delta, and that'll help make up your mind. After a couple of classes, you'll know whether this is the right path for you to pursue, or if you need to change your mind. It'll also help give you some confidence when you go down and set for an interview, because you'll have background, you'll have the trade knowledge to be able to sit there and do that. So one of the things that I think is really neat about these Zoom meetings, and I'm going to try to navigate this, is I want you to see how easy it is to explore Delta's skill trade. So bear with me if this works. Oh, I can't share my screen.
All right, let me see.
You got me disabled.
Hold on. How about now?
No, I'm not seeing my screen. I'm seeing a lot of other screens.
Anne Marie, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you see the tab that says security.
Yep.
Click on that.
Okay. Oh, share screen.
Yep.
Okay. How about now?
Let's see. Nope. Says host disabled. Well, anyway, it's not important. I just wanted to take you to the Delta College website and show you how easy it was or is to, with a few clicks, get into academics and look up tech trades and manufacturing and see what different certificates and associate degrees. So at Delta, we offer 2 levels of training. The certificate degree is usually the classes that are required for an apprenticeship, and then the associate degree are those classes plus the additional gen ed classes, somewhere between 15 and 23 additional credits, depends on the trade, to get an associate degree. We also have, from Delta, we have relationships with 4-year universities where you could take your 2-year degree from Delta and transfer it to, say, Northwood and go on and get a 4-year degree. So let's say you wanted to become an iron worker and you wanted to go see Matt, you could come to Delta first, take a couple of welding classes, and get your feet wet, and then go see Matt and say, okay, I'm ready to be an iron worker, and here's what I've already done on my own to get myself ready. And I think that's really the beauty of Delta being a community college. And I think that's about it. I don't know unless there's questions.
Matt?
Thanks, Harvey.
Oh, wait a minute. I see a question in the chat box. I should go back to this. First off, somebody had a question about instrumentation. Delta College trustees just approved a 2-year associate degree and a certificate for instrumentation. And that has been at the urging of our friends at Dow Chemical, Hemlock Semiconductor, Michigan Sugar, and what used to be Dow Corning's, now DuPont. They have instrumentation techs, and they send their employees, their apprentices, come to Delta for their training. So I've been working on that program just about since the day I started at Delta to get it approved, and they finally did. If you go to the website, you won't see it today because it'll come out in July with a new catalog. But if you have any questions about instrumentation, I'd be happy to, you can connect with me. And then somebody posted a question about TIP, cover any of the skill trades degrees or certificates. Yes, absolutely they do. You can get financial aid to cover apprentice training. I will say that probably 95% of the employers I work with pay for their apprentice training for their employees. So I have had students start at Delta in our electrical classes, and then they get an apprenticeship maybe 3 or 4 classes in, and their employer then pays for the rest of them for them. Another thing I'd stress is Delta has what we call dual enrollment for high school students. So if you know anybody that's still in high school, it is totally possible for them to, through their high school, to take dual enroll classes at Delta and get started taking trade classes so that when they graduate, they're available to go to work. And unlike any other high school student, they can walk into an employer and say, here's what I've already done on my own to get ready. I've got these 2 or 3 classes completed. I'm ready to go.
Thanks. Hey, Matt, did you have something to say?
I was just going to comment on what Harvey was saying about the welding program and just elaborate a little more. If somebody's interested in welding, like Delta College has an awesome welding program over there. It's not only going to benefit you, it's not required, but it's not only going to benefit you with the iron workers, but if you know you want to weld and want to get into one of the building trades, I mean, you could determine, hey, what processes do you like doing, right? Out of the 4 main welding processes,
Yep.
You might fit up or line up more so with the pipe fitters or plumbers, you know, or the boiler makers or carpenters, you know, so that's a good place to kind of decide what kind of welding do I like, what does it line up with more so with what trade, and figure it out from there. That's all.
I had a real quick piece, Anne Marie. I noticed that Evan mentioned the Helmets to Hard Hats program through Helmets to Hard Hats through the military. And with the trades, with the construction trades, most of them do direct entry out of Helmets to Hard Hats. We're one of only 3 states in the country that has our own director for Helmets to Hard Hats, Mr. Ed Colito. And Ed does a great job of directing the candidates to the trades. But what I would say to to any high school seniors that are thinking about going into the military, make sure that when you go in, I know Matt Rajda is a veteran, Russ is a veteran, make sure that when you go in, you get the designation that you want. So if you want to be an operating engineer when you come out, make sure you get in that construction battalion, the CB, something that relates to the trade you want to do. And then that's a no-brainer. We love to have the veterans and our contractors enjoy that piece also.
Thank you, John.
Point, John. Also, it was just in the chat, someone asked about the carpenter program. The Detroit Carpenters have got a school right here in Saginaw, and so you can visit that school. And I think somebody put up the website there for them as far as taking applications. And another point about the welding certificate is also helpful for getting into the carpenter program also.
Perfect. Do any of you have any suggestions for maybe like 9th and 10th graders who might be interested in going into a trade, but they're not yet old enough, and they're also not yet going to SCC, which is where we would hope they would go. Is there anything that you could suggest for 9th and 10th graders or teachers or parents of 9th and 10th graders?
Yeah, so unfortunately, because of the COVID piece, Michigan Construction Career Days was canceled this year, where we get all the trades under one umbrella under Massey, Massey-sponsored event for hands-on, actually here in Howell at our training facility, where the students can get that hands-on feel and do the career exploration. Tony Ratasky does a great job in the UP putting his career event together, which is a similar piece. Any of the career exploration they can do there, but also getting to the trades websites to explore what we have for opportunities and some of the videos that are out there and things. I know that for the teachers, administrators, we are working on through the Massey committee through Michigan Career Days, a piece that's going to go out next week.
Next week.
Students can do that career exploration kind of on their own. So
Good. And then My Career Quest. I don't know if y'all are familiar with My Career Quest, but that usually is an opportunity for high school students as well. That's put on through Michigan Works and the local employers in our area. And I know everywhere in the state has a My Career Quest. So.
Before we end, Tina just reminded me, I just put a plug in here. If there is anybody that's still in high school and has an opportunity to attend a career center like the Saginaw Career Center, we have excellent articulation with their programs. Students that go there in the welding program or the construction trades can then come to Delta, and they bring those credits with them. Articulation means that while you're taking those classes at the Career Center, then come to Delta, you don't have to start all over again. You can start with a step up, classes you've already completed, and then take that on towards your apprenticeship.
Great. I wanted to let any students who might be on this Zoom meeting today that if you are interested in anything in apprenticeships or skill trades, so please contact your counselors or your career navigators. They are all on here right now, and if they're not, they have this access as well. So please reach out to your career navigators and your counselors. We're trying to feed all of this information to them as well. So if you're a student, contact those people. Ross, somebody had asked about IT training and IT apprenticeships.
We do have some IT apprenticeships. There's a few of them. There had been a few in Lansing area, some in Detroit area, and like the healthcare apprenticeships, it's a little tough getting started, but once they get started, cybersecurity, we are moving in that direction. Some more of the national programs. I guess the best thing to do is have them email me, and I'll try to get some more information. But most of the programs we've had has been in the Detroit area. The one thing I would like to speak about before we end here, though, I'd like to speak about minorities and females in the trades, because I don't know who's on the Zoom here, but we are continuing to support minorities and females and more diversity in the trades. For those that when we aren't sheltered at our home and get driving to Lansing on 69, you get around the Perry exit, you may see a great big billboard up there, and there's a female with a helmet on, Chandra Dunn. She was our apprentice of the year last year for our Massey group. She was a labor, and I believe that probably the last 2, 3, 4 years across the Lower Peninsula and the UP, the apprentice of the year has been a lady, either with the operating engineers, the laborers, the carpenters, and so there's lots of room for minorities. And we've also even moved to having a pre-apprenticeship program to where a lot of our potential sponsors will take a pre-apprenticeship program, take that certificate for these trades, and they can just go right into an interview and not have to take the test. So I wanted to share that with you.
Awesome, thank you. Just a couple of things. I have I know you can't see it, but I have this little piece of paper that's got everybody's names on it, their local union websites, their phone numbers, their addresses. That's on our Saginaw ISD website. It's Saginaw ISD. Then you go to departments, career and technical education. It's on there. We also are working with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance on putting together a brochure, kind of like what John's talking about, for our local unions, for counselors, teachers, and parents to have a one-stop piece of guide paper that everybody can look at. That should be out, I'm hoping, within a month. We'll see. Yeah, anybody have any questions? We do have a couple minutes if anybody has a question, but we've been doing really good with the chat, so. Tina, you have anything left that you might want to share? Jenny?
I just ditto what you shared earlier, Anne Marie. For any students or families that are participating, please remember that we have staff, counselors, college and career advisors, career navigators that are more than willing to help guide and direct and share information to students. So please, please use those resources. They're eager to help.
Great. If nobody has any other questions, that wraps that up. I kept it under an hour, so I will share this recording with everybody, counselors and teachers, and I'm also going to post it on our website, so you can get it there. And we're going to hope to do another one of these with a couple different trades shortly coming up.
And this Russ, just want to thank you. I also want to thank the trades, Matt and Harvey and Evan and John, for taking time out and looking at alternative methods to get the message across for registered apprenticeship. We're going to get through this, and when we get back through this, we're going to be stronger for it. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for participating today. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.